It is entirely too easy to let one thing ruin your entire day, to let it stress you out, to let it ruin your mood, to let it ruin your experience. And I don't say that to point it out as a shortcoming. I say this because it's true, it's real, it happens to many of us. What's important to remember, however, is that there are things that you can do to help yourself be better prepared so that those things that maybe ruin your day don't have the same effect on you. And one way of doing that is to simply focus on small wins every day throughout the day. Now, you may think to yourself, I don't know what these small wins are, but I'm sure that I don't have them or not. I don't have enough of them in my day. But that's not necessarily true. Small wins can be whatever you want them to be. Focusing on small wins changes our state, helps us to rewire our brain in terms of how we tend to think and our patterns of thinking. It trains the brain to focus on things that are positive, focus on things where we consider it to be a success, where we've accomplished something, where we've succeeded. In today's busy world, we tend to have to-do lists. We tend to focus on everything that we need to get done. And let's face it, oftentimes these lists, these to-do things or to-do lists go unfinished simply because there's just too much to do, and that can be demoralizing. That can bring us to feel badly about not finishing the list, even though maybe you finished nearly everything or most of the things on the list. So today I'm inviting you to kind of flip things around, and rather than focusing on things that went badly or things that you didn't finish, train yourself by practicing every day to focus and recognize those things that went well, those things that you did finish, those things that were wins, even if they're small wins. Because again, this is how we train ourselves to change our pattern of thinking and to stay in a different state of mind, a different emotional and psychological state, a state that will help you to deal with stress better and more effectively. From a scientific point of view, when we focus on wins, even small ones, we get hits of dopamine in our brains, in our bodies. Our body is very ready and excited to celebrate with us. All we have to do is come together and align our focus on celebrating successes and wins. The alternative is to focus on losses, on things that we didn't accomplish, and on essentially misery. This is not about being fake happy, don't misunderstand. This is genuine. It's simply training yourself, teaching yourself how to change your focus or adjust your focus so that you recognize those small wins, those accomplishments throughout the day, every day, therefore building up an entirely different experience, especially for some of you. If you tend to be negative, if you tend to focus on the negative, this will be a whole new world to you. I really hope that you try this. You may be wondering, well, what are some of these small wins that I can make a note of? And you can literally make a note of them, whether it's on paper or in your phone or on your computer or simply in your mind, whatever you prefer to do. I suggest writing things down, but if you're pressed for time, you can simply think or talk about your small wins for a very short amount of time, and that will register it in your mind for you. So let's talk about some examples. Maybe a small win would be to get out of bed on time. in the morning. Maybe you're not a morning person, you struggle with that. But if today you managed to get out of bed on time, then why not celebrate it as a win? Because this is something you can aim for tomorrow, and then the day after, and the day after. Getting something accomplished or getting something checked off on that to-do list should be a small win that you recognize. Just because there are other things on that list doesn't mean that you should ignore or minimize the things that you have accomplished. Doing something like drinking enough water throughout the day, or having a healthy meal instead of junk food, that's a good decision, it's an accomplishment, and it's a win for you. Why not recognize it and celebrate it? By celebrate, I don't mean that you have a party. I simply mean celebrate and appreciate your accomplishment, your achievement. We can celebrate internally. But that alone helps us to change our state of mind, our state of emotion. Doing something like responding to a certain number of emails or getting caught up on your past due emails, that's a big win that often goes unnoticed. Your imagination is your best friend here. Think about what kind of things that you accomplish every day throughout the day could be recognized as small wins in your experience. And then do that. Train yourself to do that every day. Use those small wins to adjust your emotional state, your physical state, and better prepare yourself for dealing with stress in general. It's a lot easier to handle stress when you are focused on wins and success and how capable you are in life in general than it is when you are stressed out already and focused on the negative and think about how you didn't get something done or how you failed or how there are more things on your to-do list that you didn't get to. That in itself is stressful, so it's going to be that much more difficult to deal with other stress. But when you focus on wins instead, you are setting yourself up for being stronger, healthier, and more resilient, and then better able to deal with stress as a result. Focusing on small wins fosters confidence and, as I already said, helps you to deal with stress better and more effectively. Another practice that I invite you to consider, in addition to focusing on your wins throughout the day, is also set a few minutes aside at the end of the day to go over the things that went right in that day, during that day. What did you like about the day? What went well? What did you accomplish? How did you succeed? It's kind of a summary of the entire day with a positive focus. So rather than complaining and using that end of day break as a reason to ruminate or make yourself feel bad, focus on what you liked about the day, what you enjoyed, how you succeeded, and how you won. That's just a nice way to finish the day, especially if you've already taken the time to focus on your small wins throughout the day. If this is something you haven't tried, I strongly suggest that you do. It can have tremendous benefits. As with anything else, it takes some practice, but you can get really good at it quite quickly. It will be well worth your time. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the links below.